Ankur, you're one of the few entrepreneurs who's launched a luxury hospitality hotel brand in India in recent years, and you're also going abroad with that brand, Roseat Hotels. Tell me, what has been the experience of actually creating a new structure, building 3 or 4 properties, compared to your experience of doing business in India for 25 years? How much easier has it been?
Well, I must say my experience of working in the UK and acquiring and managing that business has been much more, it's different. I mean, it's much easier to, because those are, I think, mature economies. They are economies which have had the experience of where India has been earlier, ages back. And also, in terms of luxury, the market there is already developed. From an Indian point of view, we need to start developing that market. We are at the nascency of actually developing a luxury segmentation. Very limited amount of people come and spend that much amount of money because it's a far-fetched destination. The PR which the country has done, or because of whatever news happens, you don't get those people coming in. But of course, I mean, it's improving, and I feel that in the future it will happen.
For the hospitality sector, what are the things that you would put on the agenda of the government to make things easier? Of course, a lot of it has to be done by regional governments and local bodies, but what has improved and what needs to be improved?
Well, from an setup point of view, I think the ease of setting up hotels in terms of getting approvals and all that, it is completely whacked right now. I mean, it just takes ages. This particular property where we're conducting this deal took 1 whole year for our final approvals to come in before we could roll ourselves out to the public. So I think if that can be shortened and the policies there could be streamlined and there could be a single window approach, it'll definitely help entrepreneurs coming in and doing much more in that particular segmentation. From a segmentation of, after that, operating those hotels, taxation today, and I think when GST comes in, will get streamlined. But it is hugely, the sector is hugely taxed. So, at the end of the day, the buck you spend, a lot of that goes into indirect taxation as well, making it sort of unreasonable for individuals to spend money here because they've got options. They've got options near shore to go to the UAE, Dubai, Singapore, Thailand, which are more friendlier places of doing it. The third thing is infrastructure around yourselves. So yes, we've created this cocoon of spaces around the properties what we do create. But then what happens afterwards? The person has to go out. They has to see other things as well, nightlife, other places.
So the atmosphere in the city will become important. In the travel sector, again, a lot of policy initiatives which you're talking about that, you may brand India, but the reality does not always match the perception. The central government has taken a lot of initiatives to make coming to India much more easier. There's a lot of focus on encouraging domestic travel. Has that enhanced the market?
Continuously, yes, it is enhancing the market, but I think from a policy point of view, there are 2 things. If you look at the numbers right now, there are 110 million domestic travelers. We did a study because obviously they go through, I think individually there are 30 to 35 million individual travelers who fly, of a population base of 300 million people who can actually go and take to air skies. Now, why is that? Because the people who actually wanting to transverse or travel between city pairs, they're not serviced right now. The government did come out with a new aviation policy for the first time, and I think hats off because obviously this was needed. And they did focus on regional aviation as well. But more what is required, if any entrepreneur were to set that up, is infrastructure. Because, yes, Delhi is geared up. Mumbai is not geared up, to handle those many amount of planes. So there are 300 million people who can actually take to skies. And if they take at least 2 flights.
Tourism and hospitality, aviation, in all of it, we have serious capacity constraints.
Yes, we have infrastructural capacity constraints across board, across our country. Hotel rooms, I would also give you an example here. Delhi has 40,000 branded rooms of a population base of 23 million people. If you compare that to London or to Thailand or to Beijing, all these cities are in the range of 100 to 150,000 rooms. So there is a gap between what we have right now. Yes, the demand is going to come up as long as we have the supply quadrant all focused on and fixed off. Same thing with aviation as well. I mean, today if I want to fly to Jaipur and from Jaipur to Jodhpur or Udaipur and do it, Rajasthan circuit, I can't. I'll have to come back and do it. If I have to fly between city pairs, between state capitals right now, which is, Chandigarh and Lucknow, I can't fly because there aren't any flights, and there are multiple bus services across those city pairs.
You have been engaging the government also because you used to be with the CII as the Northern India head. So has the industry engagement been able to convince the government to improve the atmosphere for increasing the capacity?
See, I mean, what we've seen over these years, yes, has been a definitive improvement. I mean, you see the Delhi airport right now, what it was 10 years back is very different. Mumbai airport is very different.
And now there's focus on regional airports.
Absolutely. So even regional airports have been very different. But even if you look at the regional airports, the development has been, the airside infrastructure and the city side infrastructure have not been correlated and incubated in those cities. So Chandigarh, yes, just as an example, they've got a new terminal, but the runway still remains the same Air Force runway. It's got some watch hours which you can't sort of go on. So some cities have got the capacities upgraded on the air side, but the terminal side is not upgraded. So those are mismatches across the country. But as I mentioned to you, I mean, Rome was not built in a day. But having said that these are things which the government should look into it, because at the end of the day, if 100 million people can take on to skies against those 30, it will just incubate a lot in terms of employment, intra-trade, savings across board, and a lot of other things.
Well, we hope, Ankur, that government will take these policies, but entrepreneurs like you are not waiting for things to be perfect, but you're going ahead. Thanks very much for being on the show, and our best wishes for your new diversifications and new initiatives.
Thank you, Pranjal.